Hi there. Welcome to an acupuncturist and a nutritionist walk into a bar.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm Abigail Morgan, and this is Gloria Williamson.
Hi.
I'm a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist, board certified in traditional Chinese medicine. And
I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist practicing in Southern California.
Yep, and I'm in Los Angeles. And where are we now?
We are in Pasadena. We're not in a bar.
No, we're not in a bar.
We're not even in a bar. We're in a really beautiful chic apartment in Pasadena, thanks to my really good friend. And it just has that sort of hotel bar feel. So we thought it was the perfect environment for our first episode of our show.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here.
We are.
So today's topic is mindfulness. And as a nutritionist and acupuncturist, this is something that we both deal with a lot. And we just wanted to start this show. Tell us, why did we start this? Why are we here?
We're here because of bone broth.
That's right. We're here because of bone broth.
Story about bone broth and a cow. We're here because Abigail and I were talking on the phone, I don't know, 9 months ago, a year ago. And we were having a conversation about what we were cooking for our family. And it was a season in which I was making soup. And Abigail said, "Oh, I have a quarter of a cow for you."
In my freezer. Extra freezer in the garage.
I mean, you didn't offer me the whole cow.
No, part of it.
But some of it, right? Which was a really sweet offering.
Grass-fed, pastured from Northern California, small family farm.
And how many people just offer you a cow? You know, like, have some of my cow.
In LA, it doesn't happen that often.
It doesn't happen that often. But it was really because we were talking about broth and making soup, and you said for bone broth it's really great because you have access to this animal that you know exactly how it was raised, which was really sweet. I actually just panicked because I have had so many conversations recently in LA about bone broth. It's a very hot button nutritional supplement / meal that a lot of families have been making here, and I have had so many people come up and talk to me about that. And so
I think you hung up on me, actually.
I did not.
She's like, I gotta go, bye.
Kids! I just was like, I just made mushroom broth and it was delicious, but thank you. And also 2 of my family members just don't happen to eat meat.
I love mushrooms. I've got nothing against mushrooms.
So just based on that, we started talking about people who get really passionate about certain kinds of foods and how great it is that we are in the business of helping people turn inward and listen to what really they want to do, what feels good to them. And while you for your family during certain seasons make bone broth, I make mushroom broth, or I make a garlic soup with 40 cloves of garlic. That's really delicious.
Wow, is that your secret? 40 cloves of garlic. Hashtag 40 cloves of garlic.
So it led to us wanting to. We realized we had the same message.
It led to a lot of conversations, didn't it?
It did. It led to a lot of conversations. And we realized that we had a similar feeling about caring for ourselves and caring for our family as healthcare practitioners.
And we get a lot of questions, both of us. I mean, I get a lot of questions being a mom of 2 kids. My kids are currently 7 and 9. I'm in private practice. I've been in practice about 11 years in traditional Chinese medicine. And I have most of my patients have kids or are trying to have kids. I specialize in reproductive health. And a lot of people ask me, how do you feed your family? How do you feed them nourishing food? How do you eat nourishing food yourself? How do you make meals for everybody while also working and volunteering in school and being married and owning a home and that kind of stuff? First world issues, obviously. But that in itself, how do I, the goal for more information on how to eat well and eat healthily, but also that's tasty in a way that's convenient. And I know that's something that you get asked a lot too as a registered dietitian.
Yeah, I don't even know that I get the how-to. What I experience a lot is people using me sort of almost in a priest-like way, or they have a response to me like, "You're a dietitian," and they'll either confess and say, "I ate a Snickers bar yesterday at 12 o'clock at night," then I'm still like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
She's not a priest.
I'm not a priest. Or I made bone broth yesterday. That was the thing that I kept hearing, and I knew that you weren't coming from this place of needing my, like, oh, you're so wonderful because you made bone broth. You're so great at trying to tune into your family and taking care of them, and you like to make foods at home, and that's all wonderful. But people don't need to be you to be the only version of living healthy.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I really, after having that experience of having people come up and say, oh, I ate this, isn't that good? Or I'm trying this right now, isn't that great? Or, ooh, it's bad that I had this, isn't it? It really led me to think, okay, how can we get that message out about being conscious and mindful with maybe less guilt?
Yeah, I really think that guilt has no place in our lives. Guilt is a wasted emotion, I think that focusing on ourselves and our own individual needs as well as the needs of our family members is so key in deciding what to eat, what to not eat, what to shop for, all of that in a mindful way.
So it's nice to have this opportunity to put our platform out there about mindfulness and tuning in as really the basis and foundation of what we want to talk about and what we want to bring to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like there's anything in your practice that is your takeaway from mindfulness that your clients walk away with?
Yeah, I think that there's no right way to be mindful.
True that.
And there's no one right diet for everybody. I mean, people ask me again and again, well, what do you eat? How do you eat? What do your kids eat? And I try to really put the focus back on the person I'm working with and say, well, what's your diet currently like? I can't really help you be more healthy or be more, whole person centered if I don't know what your life is already like. And so I often will have people tell me a little more about what their current diet. Are you an omnivore? Are you a pescatarian? Are you vegetarian? What type of foods do you eat? Do you have allergies? So that mindfulness means focusing on what we're feeling in the moment, that, what is going through my mind right now, that mind-sight idea, and identifying the needs of ourselves as well as others in our family, so that it's not just, this is the one right diet for everybody. I read it in a book, this is the hot thing right now, this is the one way to be healthy, because you can certainly tell us all about how different body types and different people from different backgrounds and all have different nutritional needs.
All around the world. That's my favorite. It's my favorite. I love thinking about how people take care of themselves in such different ways in different environments and climates and with access to different foods.
Absolutely.
I like that you mentioned whole person, because I think that's another kind of foundation piece that we're thinking about, which is when I think nutrition, I don't just think eating and food and exercising and being in your body. I think about how does this all work in the context of my social environment? How does it work for me emotionally? Am I turning to foods in emotional moments, and what does that do for me? And just looking at that with the most non-judgmental eye possible, I guess.
Absolutely. Emotional eating is not in itself a bad word, right?
Right.
It can serve a purpose.
Yes. And can there be room for celebrating? Can there be room for going to grandma's? And I love thinking about heritage foods and what did your family eat that either actually works really well with your metabolism and the way that your body functions, or maybe is just a food that plucks at your heartstrings because your grandmother made it.
Absolutely.
So all of those pieces go together for me in that whole person nutrition that I'm thinking about. What do you have access to? What can you reasonably do without totally stressing yourself out?
Or stressing your parents out or your kids out or whatever it is.
Yes, right. Yeah. It's not, if everybody goes on some new, huge, big change of diet, not based on a medical need, that really affects the whole family, and it affects how they feel in social environments. So that's really that whole person we're talking about. How do all these pieces fit together for you?
Absolutely. I think that also mindful eating, from taking the traditional Chinese medical approach, ideally we eat sitting down, we eat with, if we're eating with others, we acknowledge them. We don't have a phone in front of us or a book. This traditional Chinese medicine obviously goes back way, way, way before printed books or phones. But eating with 2 feet on the ground, not how I'm sitting right now with my legs crossed. Eating mindfully, chewing our food very well, and being aware of the flavors and the feel of the food as we're eating it, and everything else going on around us at the table. And that's just a basic sense of mindfulness. And that's cultural in many parts of the world.
Yes.
You know, it's only recently, and only I think very much here in the West, that we see this whole, like, in a restaurant, you know, I see people on a date and they're both on their phones and
Or eating in the car.
Yeah, or eating in the car, or growing up in New York City. I mean, the very reality of it is people are often eating on the go while walking to the subway. You know, you got a falafel, the hand food,
Yeah.
it's
Street food.
pizza,
There's time for
falafel,
street food.
You know, absolutely,
Yeah.
it has its place.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly eating on the go, then it may not be the best thing for your body to digest and absorb and be nourished by that food.
Or even get to enjoy it fully.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else are we going to talk about in future episodes?
Well, that's a good question. We have a lot of hot topics that people ask us about in our professional work, and then also just, you know, drop off, pick up at school. People are always asking me questions, and I love those questions. So we've got a few topics on it. I think fad diets is an idea that we want to talk about. What are the latest fad diets? Do they have benefits? Can they help you? Should they be avoided?
Paleo, keto,
keto,
vegan.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a whole bunch of different ways of looking at things. Grain-free, just in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Anti-inflammatory diet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Specific foods. We've talked about juicing, smoothies,
Bone broth.
bone broth. Yes.
Yes. Intermittent fasting. That's another one.
Oh yeah. Gluten. We clearly need just one episode about gluten. I cannot wait to talk to you about gluten.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
Yes, absolutely. Not a day goes by doesn't come up as a topic.
Yeah.
And then we want to know what you want to hear about.
Yes.
So we're starting this YouTube channel as a dialogue, really. We want to address your questions. You know, we've both got over a decade of experience, and we really would love to get a chance to answer your questions. What do you want to ask an acupuncturist and a nutritionist, or one or the other? That has to do anything to do with food, with nutrition, with holistic health, with general mindfulness as an approach to life.
I think it sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We'll be back.